Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back for the Sunday slate. Only a couple hours before the slate starts, but wanted to get a video out nonetheless. Yesterday, the video picks were great. Grisham went yard. Moustakis at only a 3,600 price tag. Knew that price tag was too cheap. He went yard, and the pitcher was great. The cheap pitcher that I recommended, Logan Webb, was a really good play. Went 7 strikeouts in 6 or 7 innings. Only 1 earned run. Let's keep it going today on this Sunday slate. You can drop a like and subscribe before we get started. And if you're enjoying for football, you can join for that football package. You can visit the website in the description. Starting off at pitcher today, we have 4 guys above 10,000. All 4 guys I think are in, they're all GPP viable. Clevenger is going to really depend on the lineup the Yankees put out. Otherwise, I'm looking at like Matthew Boyd is probably my favorite of this 4 guys above 10K, and then Lucchesi. I like him a lot on FanDuel, where he's so cheap compared to Boyd. He's like $400 cheaper than Boyd on DraftKings, but on FanDuel he's like $2,000 cheaper than Boyd and $3,000 cheaper than Clevenger and Wheeler. So he thinks a great point per dollar play over there. But I like Jack Flaherty. He's probably, I think he's the most expensive pitcher on FanDuel, but on DraftKings he's the 5th most expensive pitcher. But he's been pitching the best out of the group. So much strikeout upside with him lately, so much just upside in general, and he's faced a couple of tough teams. Put up 33 against the Dodgers, put up 36 against the Cubs, 25 against the Astros. So it's not like he's been having some gimme offenses like facing the Orioles and Royals all day. Facing the Reds, their offense is nowhere near as good as those teams. And he's much better against righties. The Reds do have some lefties, but the way he's been pitching, he's been good against lefty-heavy teams like the Dodgers. So I'm just going to rock with him. He's been pitching well. He definitely has talent and upside. And just 9,700, he thinks a little too cheap. And then looking at your SP2 is kind of, it's going to be kind of interesting. No interest in Gosling at 8,800. The price tag is pretty ridiculous. No interest in Evaldi. He's only going to throw 60 pitches. Too expensive there. Maybe Vargas if you want to get kind of sneaky. But nobody here really sticks out as an SP2. That's why I'm just going to go down here and play Thomas Pannone at only $4,600, coming in as a long reliever. He's probably going to pitch like 65 to 85 pitches. He did go over 90 once, but that was when he started. But he's going to come in after a reliever, and the last time they did that against the Rangers, he pitched really well. The Seattle team is extremely lefty-heavy, just like the Rangers were, and he had a good game against them. At 4,600, you obviously don't need much out of him, but he is averaging about a strikeout per inning. He does have some prospect pedigree. I think he can put up a decent score here, given how bad this Mariners offense is and given how lefty-heavy they are. Those are the 2 pitchers I want. And then I'm kind of going back to what I had yesterday with the Brewers. I think they are a really good stack, once again, mainly because of how bad Eric Fetty is against lefties, and this Brewers team is loaded with lefty power. So I'll show you the numbers for Fetty here against left-handed hitters. He's getting crushed, and he's also been getting crushed at home. So 2 things not going in his favor. Against lefties in 138 batters, he's given up a 3.36 average with a 5.12 slugging percentage. At home, he has a 5.59 ERA. Lefties have a 4.87 xFIP. Righties also have a high xFIP, 5.43. Gives up pretty hard hits. Doesn't give up a ton of fly balls, but the way the weather is shaping up in this game and the way the Brewers can swing the bat, I think they are good plays. Once again, they're very cheap on DraftKings, especially some of them. And I love the Red Sox, too, against Ty Blatch. Started off with Sam Travis here. Usually always play him whenever he's hitting against lefties, unless he's facing, like, Kershaw or a good lefty. But he's been very good, and he's very cheap whenever he's facing southpaws. He usually bats like 5th or 6th or right in the heart of the lineup to get some damage there, do some RBI damage. Against lefties, he has 4 of his 5 home runs. He's batting .276. He has a very solid .241 ISO. Hits the ball very hard against lefties, 46% with a 33% fly ball rate. Blatch is not very good. Should get hit hard, even though he doesn't give up a ton of fly balls. I don't think not interested in doing a full Red Sox stack just because, in tournaments, just because that's what everyone's probably going to do. But 2 guys really stick out, Travis and JD Martinez. Trying my best to get those 2 in the lineup and then, kind of go with the Brewers or some other teams as a full stack. Speaking of the Brewers, going to go right back to Mike Moustakas. Came through yesterday. Not going to hesitate to go back to him. but he's still very cheap at just $4,100. Fetty is terrible against lefties, like I said. And if you look at the plate IQ here, I did that this morning. They all hit him very well. The Brewers hit all of his pitches pretty well, especially the one that he throws the most. So if you look here, Fetty against lefties, he has a 5.24 xFIP in general, just a 12% strikeout rate against lefties. He throws his sinker a ton, 41% to left-handed hitters. They all mash it. Grisham, way too small of a sample size, but he has a 600 ISO. Grandal, 378 ISO. Yelich, 300 ISO. Hira, 290 ISO. Moustakas, 245 ISO. Kane is the only one that doesn't hit that pitch well, him and Arcia. So you kind of know who you don't want to have that much interest in. But that's only against that pitch. If you look here at his fastball, they all hit fastballs well. They all can hit his splitter. Well, Moustakas can definitely hit the splitter. Yelich, it's a really small sample size. Doesn't throw that pitch too often against righties. But against lefties, he also throws his cutter and Hira 5.56 ISO. Moustakas smashes every single pitch. That's why I love Moustakas here at $4,100. I'm going to go to Christian Yelich here. Maybe that finally broke out after he was, looked like a 4-game slump. Can't even call that a slump with the way he's been playing, but so much upside, batting .333 with 41 home runs on the year. So much upside against right-handed pitching. Even though he's been much better at home, this ballpark is still very good for left-handed power. And Fetty gives it up to lefties, so a lot to like here with Christian Yelich, and he's a pretty streaky hitter too. So now that he finally got hot, I think he can stay hot for at least a game or two given the matchup here. I'll show you the numbers for him against right-handed pitching. They are one of the best in baseball. Against righties, he's batting .361. 30 of his 41 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. He has a crazy .405 ISO. So much power, so much upside with him. 52% hard hit rate. A lot to love there with Yelich. And then last but not least, you got to like JD Martinez here. At a $5,400 price tag, even going with all these heavy hitters, Moustakas, Martinez, Yelich, you still have $4,200 left. If you rock with a very cheap Pannone, that's an SP2, you get a ton of roster flexibility. Martinez against lefties has always been a play that I always go to, especially a bad lefty at home. Martinez's best numbers against lefties on the team by far. Nobody's even close to him. He has one of the best numbers in baseball against lefties. .394 average, 14 bombs in 109 at-bats. .459 ISO for him. Mashes the heck out of the ball. 47.6% hard hit rate and a 43% fly ball rate. Blatch is a decent pitcher. I mean, he's not terrible, but he's not good. He's way below average, and he's only making his second appearance of the year, so it's not like he has a lot going for him. Should give up a home run or two, and I think great chance that it comes from Travis or JD Martinez. It's a really small sample size this season, what you're looking at, but career-wise, he doesn't give up a ton of fly balls to lefties, but against righties, he's still getting hit hard. .460 slugging given up. .476 xFIP, only a 13% strikeout rate, so it doesn't strike many out. And like I said, doesn't give up a ton of fly balls, but when you're not striking people out, you can still give up some damage here. And Martinez, Travis both have a ton of power against lefties. So that's what I like. Love the Red Sox. Couple players from the Red Sox. Love the Brewers. I think you can probably look at maybe a couple Indians against Sabathia. Sabathia is making his return from the IL, but he gives it up to righties, and they are pretty cheap here. Puig is only 46. He has a lot of upside. Oscar Mercado at only 4,000. I love that price tag. And you got like Reyes under 4K. And then Ramirez, Lindor, they're priced up, but they should be. But if you're stacking the Indians, you know who to stack. And then the Blue Jays, I think they're a fine stack here. Against Kikuchi, they have a ton of power. The injury to Guerrero is going to make it a little less appealing as a full stack, but Grichuk at only 4,300 is great play. The Blue Jays are going to be popular, so keep that in mind, but there are still some really nice prices on them. Smoke at just 3,800, Grichuk, Teoscar, definitely have a ton of power there. And that's kind of, and then maybe the Nationals a little bit. You can look at some of them. They're not, Adams is a nice price tag at 40,000. Dozier as a cheap second baseman at just 3,500. So there are definitely a couple appealing prices on them. Love the Brewers. Already talked about the two that I love, and then I love Grisham again at just 3,500. It's too cheap, way too cheap for Grisham. And Hero at 5,000 is going to be low owned, but he has incredible power against righties. And then maybe the Mets too. Don't have a ton of interest in a full stack, but if you want some exposure to Rosario, Conforto, and obviously the GOAT, first baseman Pete Alonso, not going to blame you there. Maybe even Joe Panic if he's batting second, and only 3,300. That's it for this Sunday slate. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can like the video if you enjoyed, and good luck today.